Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and today you join me on the Ferrari stand at the 2017 Frankfurt Motor Show, where behind me is the brand new Ferrari Portofino. It's the world premiere, the global debut of their new GT car. They update the revision to the California and California T, and today I'm going to show you all around it, outside and in, because, well, look at it. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous convertible supercar. This thing is really quite special, and there's quite a lot that's actually changed from the California and the California T. So let's start going around the exterior, and this car is painted in Rosso Portofino, which is a beautiful multi-layered dark red paintwork. Perhaps it doesn't even come out as well on the camera as it does in person, but it is a lovely, lovely color choice. Now, it's named Portofino after the small little Italian town I've visited before. It's a beautiful location, similar, I suppose, to California. It's not named after a racetrack, but it is named after the kind of environment that you want to drive a car like this with the top down. And one of the coolest things about this car is that hard top, when it's up, which I can show you shortly, actually has a very seamless integration and a nice way that it comes down towards the rear deck lid. I'll show you more of that in a moment, but firstly let's talk about the numbers. Let's come around towards the front. Up front, a revision to the 3.9 litre twin turbocharged V8. It now has 600 CV or 600 horsepower, which is 40 more than the previous California T. It also has 760 Newton meters, so 0 to 62 miles per hour or 100 kilometers an hour is now a 3.5 second sprint, and the top speed is up to 199 miles per hour total. Now visually you can see it is substantially more aggressive, more beefed up all around, starting around the front, larger openings for airflow and cooling, the front splitter, side skirts. You've got extra areas for airflow through the rear or through the front wheel wells, which I can show you. If I come around to here, you can see the way the air is managed around here through the side. It comes out back through here, so the air management to reduce the swelling of air in there for aerodynamics. Of course, coming along the side, carbon fibre side skirt. We come around towards the rear, where you've got the distinct tail lights, top and wide at the sides, and then down at the bottom, with a very aggressive diffuser, you have the quad tailpipes as well, again with very sporty finish and design to them. As we come around, and we can see a little bit of the diffuser as well, which has some interesting aerodynamics and shapes going on down there. Now up towards the top, the boot lid has quite an aggressive rear spoiler line, which I think really enhances the car. Brake lights installed right up towards the top. But of course, this is a convertible, and this car is sat here with the roof down, so let's wander around and just come and have a quick glimpse through towards the interior, where you can see immediately they've brought in the new 10.3-inch screen that has Apple CarPlay amongst other features, and also on this car the passengers display too. Otherwise very familiar Ferrari. Has 18-way adjustable seats for extra comfort, but the whole car is actually now 80 kilos lighter than the previous generation, which is really quite significant. It has the same 7-speed dual clutch, but again revised now to handle eDiff3, more grip and control, working all in harmony, as well as slightly stiffer springs versus the previous California T, 15.5% stiffer at the front, 19% stiffer at the rear, which gives a ride more familiar from the handling speciale package that was available on the California T later on through its lifespan. So looking at this car, it's beautiful, but let's move over towards this one beside me here, which has the roof up in place, and you can see here exactly what I was talking about, the way this two-part folding roof mechanism, it almost blends very coupe-like through the back of the car. So you have a two-part roof or sort of visual area. You have the bonnet section, but then the one part over the canopy right back towards the rear edge, where typically the hardtop convertibles would come down awkwardly to here, and then you'd have a flat section, and it never really works very well. And on this they've done a wonderful, wonderful job of really integrating that and making it work, in my mind, exceptionally well. And like the 812, you have this area here for the airflow over the car. I'm not particularly the world's biggest fan of the satin paintwork, but I can appreciate it. And on this car, with the dual tone of the wheels as well, the diamond cut wheels, it does look rather good, with the yellow theme continuing through from the center caps, the ceramic brake calipers and the Scuderia shields, because as with all modern Ferraris, comes as standard with ceramic brakes. So back round the front actually, while we're here, you see the carbon fibre splitter. The larger openings give it this, I guess, almost bigger mouth, but more airflow through the car for cooling of the engine. The headlights are now shaped and reminiscent of the 488 GTB and the 812 Superfast. This L shape that curves around, which gives it more poise and positioning, and the bonnet with the bulge up through the centre and the two intakes, the two ducts on the top, just gives it a little bit more aggression as well. If I come round towards the rear, down here, there should be a button to open the hatch. There we go. Let's open this up, and we can see the roof that is currently folded away in the boot. Now, one interesting thing about this is how open that actually is. And this is the first Ferrari that doesn't come with a fitted luggage set as an option, because this space back here is perfectly shaped for two standard carry-on size luggage pieces. So you can fit your two bags, one on each side, with, I guess, some briefcases or small luggage on top, underneath the roof when you've got it folded back, and it's quite easily accessible, which is very clean and tidy as well. And in traditional Ferrari style, you have the plaque here with the options list and specification for each specific car, and the details as well, which is always a rather nice touch. So let's reach up, just pull that down. That's a very light panel actually. Noticing pulling that down, it's extraordinarily light. If we come around to this car quickly, we can open it up. The button is under here. You can see what the boot looks like when the roof is in play, and you can pull this section and move it out of the way so you get a little bit more space available to you there for your luggage. Slightly awkward shapes, but obviously you'd have to have this back folded down like that in order to fold the roof back down. So let's pull it down. There is a latch underneath. That is remarkably light. Biggest observation for me of the car so far, but this one I'm going to jump in and show you on the inside quickly. So we can see in here, so new seats, as I mentioned, that have significantly more adjustability. If we just step in and take a look around here. Oh, we've got the radio on, let's just mute that for a second. But you can see the familiar Ferrari style dashboard with a large central rev counter, dual displays on either side which are controlled through the jog dials on different sides of you, depending which mode or setting you'd like to be in. So the VDA with your different driving modes, or trip information turbos, or just going through your settings. There's a lot in there that you can see and that you can play with and go through. Then on the right, you can have your navigation, all sorts of other controls and bits and pieces as well. Then down here, you've got the very large, nice central display, which is super smooth and flows very, very quickly for this kind of thing, and gives you a lot of information, as well as over here having the passenger information display, which turns on by touch, which is quite cool. And you can see here again, you can have various bits of information. You can set it up to, well, control the media, so the passenger can change the radio, next track, last track, or see information about how you're driving. What speed are you doing at the moment? This is a wonderful option that's available on the car. Then looking around, there's actually 5 centimeters more space for your rear passengers. So those who had children in California who had no legs, now that your children are 5 years older and have grown some legs, they can still fit, 'cause the seats can come forward a little bit more and have some room down there. And then down here in the center, this is familiar storage bucket area, carbon fiber inlays, all very nice. Cup holder, armrest with a USB port and the like back there. Generally, some decent space and storage possibilities for you. That's spring-loaded slightly. The steering wheel, usual controls on the wheel, the new style Ferrari steering wheel, but with the LED carbon driver zone here, so you've got the shift lights up towards the top, as well as the new look Malatino Comfort Sport and ESC off, so not a huge amount of options available to play with and press on there, but generally it's a nice update. I don't think anybody could complain about the change from California T to Portofino. It's really nicely revised. I think the lines of the car, I didn't close the door properly, the lines of the car are very, very well worked on. Just look at it. When you come at it from this angle, I think it's a really, really smart car. And just imagine driving on one of these along the Italian Riviera through Portofino. Wouldn't it just be heavenly? just sat watching it turn around in front. I think it's gorgeous. Really, really, really nice look, especially in this paint colour. And if I just come closer, just to show you a different look at an interior trim. So this car in the black leather with the red stitch and the silver components rather than all the carbon. It can be pulled off in different ways, but just as nicely, I feel. So yes, that's a good look around the Portofino. While we're here, I'll just spin my camera and have a quick look at the other members of the family. So Ferrari in the GT category, you also have the GTC4 Lusso. Obviously this is a colour scheme that particularly takes my fancy. We're familiar with the Lusso T, depending if you have a V12 or V8. The new 812 Superfast, which is a car I am utterly obsessed with at the moment. I drove it at the launch at the Fiorano test track and it was glorious. The sound of the V12, 800 horsepower. It's a wonderful, wonderful machine. It looks so, so good. And this is in their extreme sports category. So this, along with the 488 GTB that's at the far end, very much in a different category, the two-seater cars rather than the 4 or 2+2 style, but wonderful machine. And then if I wander down back towards the other end of the stand here, past the two Portofinos, I'll come around the back. We have the 488 GTB in Rosso Corsa at the end, very bright under the lights. But of course, again, with a derivative of the 3.9 litre twin turbocharged V8, lurking in there, 670 horsepower in the 488 GTB. So, a very nice display on the Ferrari stand, also supported by a Formula 1 car right there, which is always fun to have a look at. But the big news is the Portofino, and I think it's a great looker. And I look forward to driving it. Expecting to have a first go maybe in spring next year or thereabouts. And I think delivery is coming through to customers a little bit later, circa £160,000 or so, although pricing not yet confirmed for the UK, depending on currency and the like. So, there we go, Portofino. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Ferrari's new open top. I'm going to wrap it up there though. Thanks again, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers.